Sacre Bleu! ToD is in the winner's match here in Group D. Who would have expected it there with MVP being taken out by him? And in fact, let's update you guys on exactly what's been happening today in the group.
All right, so Euthermal kicked off the day against San. Won game one, but then unfortunately lost 2 games in a row. And San finds himself in this winner's match. And if you didn't just catch that, we saw ToD push MVP down to the lower bracket, 2 games to 1. So in the winners, we'll have Korean versus European, likewise in the lower bracket. So those are our next couple of games here. We'll be starting off with the San versus ToD game and then followed by the MVP game. And then, of course, take it from there. But an unexpected set of games here today, once again, within the WCS.
Yeah, as always, as is tradition here in Europe. And that leaves us with a very juicy match now up in the top. PvP now upon us here with 2 very, very interesting players. One, of course, in the form of San, a guy that is just an absolute monster across all matchups. And then we have ToD, of course.
Yeah, these 2 players head-to-head, it's going to be a good series. San is a beast, but he's vulnerable like MVP is, and I think we're seeing that today quite clearly in the games that are being played. ToD is very good at casting PvP. He understands it. He's seen a lot of different PvPs over the last 12 months. He gets the matchup and is pretty good at the matchup. Definitely really, really good at this matchup. So he's going to be coming into this. For me, personally, I think a little bit in favor here. I would give it just a little bit of an edge to ToD, considering the circumstances. But you cannot count San out. San is an animal. He is top 4 in the world. He's got a great record within the WCS, 32 wins and just 13 losses. But in a matchup so decisive on unit control, this, you know, like I said, has to favor the Frenchman.
I mean, yeah, let's not forget, in terms of what we've seen from ToD before, I'm going to the casting side of things here. Let's just focus on that bit. He's cast San in PvP alongside me in this very studio. He has cast San versus Welnu last season alongside me, and you have to anticipate that he's, you know, kind of studied what San was doing in those past PvPs. He knows the mindset of him, but at the same time, PvP is still that kind of, you know, opening centric kind of matchup where anything can really go at the beginning.
So I'm wondering where ToD is going to think about the kill move.
That's true.
Because, I mean, I think the longer the game goes on, especially the way PvP plays, let's just skip past. Let's just say in the early part, they play it out equal. They both expand the same time, it's equal. In the mid game, equal. Or if San finds a way to get a lead, then eventually when they take a fight, it's not as control-centric as one would imagine. It's usually gain a big lead, put the lead in your army, give your opponent the army fight, right? There's not super control-centric in a PvP Colossus war battle. So ToD, I think, would need to put the pressure on early or mid, but that goes against his play style here. He does like to drag it out long. He likes to play long game series. That's where he feels most comfortable. But I think he needs to break out of that a little bit here. Put the pressure on early to San, make him control his units in a difficult situation, maybe look for some mid-game timings where he can overwhelm his opponent. If it goes equal for the majority of the game, I'm pretty sure San can use some small edges and moves to get a lead into a big Colossus fight, big army fight.
Yeah.
And I think San would do okay in those battles.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think that that's where San's comfort zone is going to be, considering the circumstances, right? With those kind of mid to late game fights that you're not controlling as, you know, like small little units from here and left, but anyway. So going into this series, first map being King Sejong Station here, Sean, you being our resident expert, how do you think that this is going to kind of play out? Do you think it's just going to be a feel out game here from both of them in this, and just kind of like to Twilight Council?
I'm not sure. I think ToD will probably, you know, try to play a little bit reactionary, find out what's going on, and then kind of make his decisions that way. I feel for San, more so than previous, this is the time to go for those risk-reward builds.
Okay.
Those DT builds, those proxy Stargate builds, these things that can almost give you an instant win. Because if ToD isn't prepared with his own build, if an Oracle goes in, kills the probe line, it doesn't matter what kind of latency issue you have. It doesn't matter what issue you have. You're going to win the game. Likewise, if DTs go in unanswered for. So I think that ToD, as much as he needs to put pressure on early, also needs to think about this type of style that we could see out from San. And also, I think one element for ToD to not overly think, and that is the key word here, overly think. Doesn't want to overanalyze his opponent and what he's done in the past. That's a mistake that you can fall into because it's not about the past, it's about the present on what can happen, not what has happened.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, in just a little bit, we'll be getting into this as ToD is ready, as is San, for our first map. As I said before, King's Legion Station is the first map of choice between these two. And the winner of this moves on to the round of 16 in first place.
Yeah.
It's going to be the weirdest feeling in the world if ToD wins and we actually have an interview with ToD.
Yeah. I think he's going to be overly joyed to be in the round of 16. I mean, he's a professional player at first, right? And this is what you strive for. To get to this point in your career, the World Championship Series is everything. You're in it. You're in the Premier League. Can he go in first place? And I think, as mentioned at the start of the show, this is his golden ticket. This is the best opportunity he's had so far. He needs to take it.
All right. Well, let's go right into now game number 1 here in series number 3, the winners match, to find out who moves on to the round of 16 in first place. As we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, our red Protoss representing Yo Flash Wolves. It is San. And up to the top left-hand corner, our blue Protoss representing XMG. It's ToD.
All right. So how is this going to play out? A best of 3 here between these two. Definitely have to favor ToD for me. Definitely, as in I definitely do agree that he's just in favor.
Give us a percent. 60-40?
55-45.
Wow.
It is just.
Okay.
It is just.
Okay, that's close. Just a little bit of an edge then.
But if they were to, if they were to play in a studio, they were to play in the round of 16, it would be like more like 80-20. Much higher, much higher. Maybe not 80-20, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. To ToD, of course. No.
Of course.
Sounds pretty sick. Pretty sick. Yeah. I have the utmost admiration for a player like San, who for ages and ages and ages, he disappeared. He absolutely disappeared off the radar. Everyone was like, where's San? Where's he gone? And then all of a sudden he came back from and did well over in the Taiwanese leagues. But since then, absolute monster of a player. Yeah. Never do you see this guy really dropping a map out of silliness, out of something crazy going on. He's so solid.
If San somehow is knocked out in today's group, it would be the first time in about 8 months that he hasn't finished at least top 8.
Yeah.
8 months of top 8 and above performances. That can be shattered today if ToD and whoever's next is able to eliminate him. But notice the 2 builds. ToD scouted around, does not want to lose to something cheap, which can instantly win San the game. Proxies. It delays his second gas, it delays his second pylon. San in the lead in terms of the race between both builds, but ToD took a safety precaution, which San didn't. You can notice already how the mentality of both players is starting to shape up.
Yeah, San's just... San is in that kind of mindset of like, well, YOLO mode, man. I mean, I don't believe my opponent's going to proxy me, although that being said, whenever ToD is actually here for round of 16 events and stuff like that, all he ever does is ladder and proxy people, so that might come back to bite him later on. Who knows? We'll find out later. But aside from that, it's just, I think it's more the feel-out game.
Sentry first, Stalker first.
Ooh, hello.
ToD's options, wild. Anything's possible. Can be absolutely anything from Stalker first here. Sentry, though, pushes towards an expansion build.
Yeah.
Pushes towards it, not necessarily meaning that is the case, because he can tech after this. Chrono Boost into the Sentry, and what is its follow-up? Stalker. Okay, so probably tech coming out from San. Could be a safer Nexus, though, whatever the case. But it's not straight, fast tech. ToD, Twilight Council, after the Stalker, which means he is teching here. And... with the Twilight Council, it's most likely Blink. Like a Blink play into 3 gateways, Robo Expansion, one of the safest builds you can play. But there is San with the Nexus as initially first thought. ToD, no information on this. That's the most important part of this game, is to see what you're playing against. I wouldn't be surprised if ToD accepted the fact that the Nexus is down and threw his own. I doubt he would try to capitalize on the fact that he doesn't have a Nexus and his opponent does.
Yep, spots that as well.
Yeah,
at the cost of a bit of shields, but that's okay.
I'm going to see what he's going to do. Yeah, he's going to expand. So, like I thought, early part of the game, as mentioned, if ToD can find an opportunity to do it, great, put the pressure on. But he'd also be happy just to go equal.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because he knows that in different parts of this game is where he's going to be feeling much better with different aspects.
But then from game number 1 to 2, this might influence ToD's decisions as well.
Absolutely.
Considering the fact that he's just seen that San, with his issues in mind, you know, is actually going to go for this.
Big move coming in from San. Gamble, but big move.
Wow.
Dark Shrine.
Yeah.
So the Hallucinating Phoenix is going to go in, and ToD needs the Robo, which he has done. So he's gone for an all-round safe build. Blink, 3 gateways, Robo, expansion, that's perfect. It is everything. You're good in attacks, you've got Immortal options, you've got Observer options, you've got everything. The Hallucinated Phoenix does scout this. There is a Stalker on the natural of San, but one thing ToD doesn't have is Sentry energy to scout, which means he's not going to see this very early. There's a pylon on the other side of the map, and unless ToD Stalker randomly goes to the left and not to the right, out in the open, he's not going to see this either.
At least he has a few extra sentries, though, just in case he needs to actually force field off the ramp, though, once this comes along.
I mean, ToD doesn't know at all what's going on from this. So 3 sentries, always create a wall with the sentries. That's always nice.
Yeah,
he's got, you know, he's just playing overall safe. Like, it's completely safe.
It's ToD.
It's ToD. It's safe. It's 3 sentries. Most Protoss players go for 2 nowadays because 3 is quite, it's quite intensive when it comes to spending your gas. But he's gone for 3. That's fine. He's okay with it. He's got force fields available. He needs to be looking at his ramp. He's got an observer out. This DT should not do anything. ToD would have a faster +1. He's got faster gases on the natural. He's just overall in better shape.
And this probe's going to come in and have a little bit of a look, see what's going on at the front. Possibly trying to keep an eye on what's going on with blurs and the sentry positions. And I think after seeing that sentry position, he probably anticipates nothing being done at the ramp, so he's going to go straight to this mineral line.
Yeah, he'll go to the mineral line. 1 or 2 probes get out. That's the goal here, I imagine. If he tries to run past, it's a big, big risk. He can get double force fielded, whatever. Can't even run past. So, gamble... you know, risk and reward. Could have got a lot more done by going in the main. Could have just got a couple and not much on the natural. Wanted more, didn't get anything. That
was very surprising to me, considering that he actually saw that with a probe. The sentries at the top of the ramp that were kind of poised for, you know, that kind of move out. But, oh well, San, for now, sending his Hallucinated Phoenix out, and Observer's going to try and spot exactly what's going on behind all of that as well.
But it's not the end of the world.
Yeah?
ToD has 2 extra sentries over his opponent. That's 200 gas. That's not even, you know, it's not that far away from the cost of a Dark Shrine and DT in the first place anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's just added in there. Probe count in favor of San. San also forcing cannons out. So it's not the end of the world. It's not like he invested hugely and it didn't pay off and now he's behind. It's okay. Good shape. He has Blink coming in. That's the only thing he doesn't have. He has Immortals coming out just like ToD has. He has +1 attack just like ToD has.
Ah, well, ToD actually cancelled his Blink during all of that, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, at the very beginning to afford the Nexus a little bit quicker. Well, I mean, not having that at this point is a bit of a hindrance, of course, if you're going to go up against Blink. But
so more gateways coming in here for San. Potential attacks do open up from this point, but it is going to get scouted by ToD.
Yep.
Hallucinating Phoenix goes in, sees the additional gateways, knows his mortals, found a pylon out in the open.
Sees the 3rd go down as well.
Oh, that's a big scout, though.
Yeah, very nice.
That's a nice scout. That's a very nice scout to get that this early.
Ooh, 5 gateways been added on here.
He's going to attack. He's going to attack. He's not happy with that 3rd base coming down here.
Oh, not at all.
He has to get Blink here. So much gas from ToD.
It's going to take forever to get Blink, though, if he does.
Yeah, Temporal Archives comes in because he's just like, he probably looked at it as I did and thought, wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh, well.
He could go for Blink here. He's got time to get Blink and the money to do it. He may just want to throw all his money in units, which is completely fine too, but he's going to break this 3rd. Or at least attempt to.
Yeah, one thing's also noticeable, though, is that San, if he was keeping eyes on that, did see that the upgrade just finished. So now he must be aware and anticipate something like a push coming, especially after the kind of scouts that have happened during all of this.
Observer goes in, sees Gateway turning on.
Yeah.
What is this? What is this? Why is there a Gateway? Why is your Templar Archives already? Does ToD have a 3rd? Like, but all of a sudden he's going to start to click. It's not the end of the world if this 3rd gets cancelled either. It's not the end of the world. He knows there's an army out there. So I think he's just going to cancel anyway. It doesn't really matter that much. They're back 2 base versus 2 base. He should be able to defend from his high ground. He has a Temporal Archives of his own out. +2 on the way, by the way, which is good for San. ToD kind of needs to throw an expansion down himself and take a lead that way because he's not going to crack his opponent.
Yeah, does throw it down, but there is the Observer right there and ready to spot that when it does happen. So at least San knows now that he's going to have a little bit more comfort when it comes to re-establishing his 3rd base.
Yeah. So as much as this was nice from ToD, it didn't do what it was meant to, which means he does take a bit of a hit. Like the extra gateways, extra units, didn't do anything. You know, he's got a little bit of a faster Nexus, but it's not that fast. He stopped +2 attack. So there's a couple of things that he stopped to make that work, but it was spotted early, it was reacted well, and Sans found himself higher in supply. Third base is coming in, better upgrades, decent army. Overall, still good for San. ToD did look for a nice move there. Unfortunately, didn't pay off.
Not too bad. Not too bad. And noticeably, still, we're seeing the committal to these army compositions. So I'm liking that we're seeing the same army composition, but heads, because I'm not a huge fan of the Colossus style. It can be countered quite quickly, unless, of course, you're, you know, not buying enough time to get the Tempests out.
Yeah, interesting move from Sandy that separates both of them is he's actually gone for Storm.
Yeah.
Which you don't see that often. The only time you really see it in PvP is if you want to play against Void Rays or get a lot of splash damage versus Void Rays, which can be pretty difficult to stop. But it does offer a lot of damage in a fight here.
And very good against hardened shields on Immortals. We've seen that once or twice, and we've seen how well that can do. And with this, I mean, look how many Immortals we've got coming out for ToD. He's committing way more to the Immortals than we're seeing from Sans, so that's the deviation in turn.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice move here, or an interesting one, to say the least. See how well it's going to work out. Both players similar in probe counts, both scanning heavily, both notice each other as still on the same composition.
He does see Storm researching, so maybe he'll read into that. But he starts another Immortal as well. Again, I really, truly believe that these Storms are going to be focused down on those Immortals. If you can get rid of the hardened shields,
it's really
a massive
hard
difference
to see Storm researching because it's not something you look for, or it's just like kind of there.
Like
and even if he sees High Templar, it's like, the feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is more difficult to read into it. It's hard to know if ToD does know that is the case. +3 attack on the way faster.
Yep.
Archon count heavier for ToD. 6-2. 6-2. So this is 4 High Templars ready for Storm.
22 Zealots to 9.
Now ToD should start to realize, looking at the army, he's got to be like, why are there 4 High Templar in that army?
Yeah, there's got to be something.
Like, you don't need 4
on.
High Templar, so you may start to click a little bit here.
All right, so one thing's for sure, once ToD actually goes into engagement, he's going to need to spread his army pretty well. Otherwise, it's going to be taking a significant amount of damage. But of course, it's weird how it works out. It kind of counteracts one another if you're not careful by Sam when he takes an engagement, because since he has so many Zealots, if he actually charges into the Storms himself that he throws down...
But one good thing for San is look at the architecture around the third base that he would take a fight. It's very clumped, right? Wherever ToD would take a fight to defend, it's clumped up, which means Storms could do excess damage here. It's not that wide open. ToD would be better in a wide open position here. And that's kind of where he's moving towards right now. He doesn't know San's out there. Checks the high ground, doesn't see anything, so he isn't kind of worried, but he should be, because it's on the right-hand side. Hallucinated Phoenix, great anticipation, does see this army. But look, San's in good spot to land these Storms. +3 attack.
Yeah.
Just 30 seconds away, and it's way, way away from ToD. And also ToD's looking to go up to Colossus, which is not the right time, and he's not going to be able to get it done. I'm really curious to see how these Storms are going to affect this battle.
Yeah, so am I. This could get very, very sticky. He's got his army in 2 big clumps here, but here come the Storms already. Starting to weaken up a little bit. Those hardened shields go down very fast on those Immortals. It's going to be scary if those are all gone and an engagement happens. There's still more Storms left as well.
Yeah, and this army's clumped.
Uh-oh. Okay,
good
that's
storm,
another good Storm.
Good Storm.
He keeps walking through them. He keeps baiting through it. It's like the initial wave to then push through if he can do. There's a lot of Archons here, though, for ToD, trying to break down away at these Zealots. The Immortals at the back still haven't really been too much touched here for ToD. And despite all the Storms at the very beginning, the Zealots are gone. The Immortals are retained. Now more Zealots coming in, though, for San. Still trying to go for these engagements where he can, but... will the Zealots be able to break through? I don't think so. The Immortals are still reigning supreme here for ToD.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to hold on to this position really nicely.
Keeps on going through now, and with those Immortals, there's still Zealots and a few actually moving in from the south side with all those gateway units gone.
It is close.
Yeah.
+3 attack there for San is helping out, but it looks like ToD should be able to hold this.
Geez, so back and forth. More units just streaming in from ToD as well, and that will be able to push this back. Close call in the end. That was really, really back and forth, that engagement.
Yeah, and if San goes in again, he's going to lose, so he's got to back off there, and ToD holds on. Storms were good, but there was a big difference in Archon and Immortal count there.
Yeah.
There was like 4 or 5 Immortal difference for ToD, 4 or 5 Archon difference as well. Storms are good, but he wasn't able to break through.
Yeah.
Sure, he brings down the shields of all of these units, but if they aren't gotten towards at the back,
if the Zealots don't get on them,
then sure, yeah. I mean, it's good to bring the shields down. It's good to get the Storms in, but if you can't destroy the units after the shields are down, then what good are the Storms initially?
Dark Shrine now comes in from ToD in a very, very sneaky little spot there. So I'm going to try and work those in later on. But now ToD has I would say army advantage. I mean, 2 Immortals in this as well. Although, I wonder how quickly this Storms could recharge again. He needs to... The fact that he didn't really thin too many of the Archon counts means that they're always just going to be there to work away at the Zealots once they charge forwards again.
Yeah, and I like that ToD made good use of the 4 sentries that he had at the start of the game. He made a lot of hallucinated units as well, which helped out a lot in the fight. You know, something smaller that a couple of you may not have noticed, but that was a nice move too. Both players take 4th base. They are, you know, kind of equal, but ToD does have a slight advantage. Better army overall for ToD. DT harassment here, and that's something that San has to be careful of. I'm looking around, he has cannons in each mineral line, so he shouldn't really take too much damage versus the Dark Templar play. ToD realizing that he is kind of, in this position you are in a parallel race until somebody makes a massive tech switch. He's leading, which he's not going to change anything up drastically. So they are staying Archon, Zealot, Mortal against each others. San's going to attempt to come in here again for another attack.
All right, let's have a look at the numbers.
You know, ToD's got 3 more Immortals, 4 more Archons.
That's too big a difference.
It's a big difference. He storms again. You know, he has to really land these storms, and he has to get the damage done to the units that he storms on.
Yeah.
Of course, he can always just, you know, take a small fight if he doesn't want to take it. He's in trouble, but the Mothership Core is there. So, like, if he gets caught in a time warp, then he has to fight no matter what.
Luring this army.
This is better for ToD.
Yeah, there's the time warp, catches a few of those units, Storm hits, and only kills off 1 Zealot, really.
Yeah, San's got to be careful here. A mistake can cost him the game. Both players, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
A positional mistake costs you the game here.
A bit of harassment over here.
Sans pulls ToD's army right.
It's quite nice.
And now he time warps the right-hand side. Nice zoning. Oh, he's going to take the high ground. Oh, no. Okay. I thought he was going to take the high ground.
Well, he's getting caught here. There's a Storm. Catches a lot of that. There's a feedback on the Mothership Core, but I don't think he can stay here and go for an engagement. If he does, he's going to be warped in from either side. Yeah,
there is an armor difference here as well by San. He does have +1 armor. He's in a good position again, using the map to his advantage to land these storms. And again, a couple of decent ones.
Doing all right with that, but ToD's still playing it patiently. A few more Archons reinforced for San. Jeez, this is very, very tense.
Yeah. Still, I think I favor ToD's army. The shields are regenerating, but the position definitely in favor of San here, taking another good spot.
The Archons all at the back for ToD aren't going to be doing a whole lot once this engagement
Zealots at the back as well for ToD, which is pretty bad.
Yeah, a few Zealots at the back for San, but he can be using these on
the
left-hand side. All right, here goes the Storm. 1 Storm hits a lot of that. 2nd Storm lands as well. A few of these Archons are very nicely separated up here for San. Some of the Zealots on the high side also dealing with a few of those Archons, but at the back for ToD.
Yeah, look at all the shields and the Immortals. They're down, but they're not dead.
Yeah.
Of ToD.
The Storm just isn't really working out for it in the end because the units just aren't getting to them. This is the Zealot wave that was supposed to, but with the Archons at the back as well, it's really not working out. ToD just wins through. GG. GG.
1-0 up. Much better position from ToD. Can fight in 3 angles there, which means that the whenever you attack, your units are going to start going in multiple directions, and it really disbalances the fight, which would have been better for him. ToD, with a much stronger core on that right-hand side, was able to push through. And once again, keep the Immortals alive. Interesting strategy choice. It's something that we don't really see that often from Protoss players because it is more difficult to execute that style. And, well, it was difficult again here and not there. But a good game from San. Definitely not like a walkover, not something that ToD just went in and crushed. Put up a good fight.
I'm trying to think if it was San versus Wellmu that we saw the Storm used in a PvP on Frost in Season 1. We did see it used somewhere. I 100% remember that it was used to bring down Immortal Shields, and it had great success. But it didn't...
you got to get to them. Right?
Yeah, it didn't have all those Archons in front of the Immortals. They all got caught in a weird spot, and it worked out brilliantly. But here, not so much. In these tight little areas where these Zealots are all getting bottled up against Archons, you're not going to break that line.
Yeah.
It's an interesting debate.
Pretty good PvP though, and hopefully this will continue on to be a good PvP. Do like a good strategical match, which that definitely was. Nice movements, nice building up, and just kind of good game overall. Lots of scouting, lots of intel, and just a good game. So ToD is now 1 map away from getting his highest finish yet to break the combo of being eliminated in the round of 32 every time he's tried. He's tried twice before this and lost in the round of 32. I think if we be honest as well, definitely wasn't playing as well then to what he is now. Because when we casted him, it's like, all right, here we go. And kind of just got pushed over and was eliminated rather fast in the games we casted. But today, he's definitely living up to it. He's doing well.
I mean, looking at it as a whole, he's 1 game away after defeating MVP and now is against San to moving into the round of 16.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Let's get into game number 2 now. Overgrowth is our map. as we have these two Protoss players duking it out once again. Up to the top right, we have our red Protoss representing Yo Flash Wolves. It is San and down to the bottom left-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss. It is XMG's ToD. And remember what I said about the round of 16 shows when all he did was something very, very specific.
So I really like this choice. San didn't scout, didn't do anything in the early game to see this. Wouldn't be expecting ToD to play this way. Remember, ToD overall, I said this would be the best way for ToD to really capitalize is play against his playstyle here. Put the pressure on early. Force your opponent to micro with you. If you're confident, put it on. You don't need to keep playing safe to look for an advantage somewhere else because good players will exploit you. MVP did. San potentially could in this game. 13 gateway. Scout in the main base. This is worrisome. Does he go down to the natural or is he just content inside his main?
There's the click.
He's content with just his main and no cannon rush.
Oh, wow.
Which means that he's not going down to that natural. I'd be very surprised if he did. So this is going to be a rush. It's not double gateway. It is with a gas. It's going to be like Zealot. It will go up to Stalkers pretty fast.
Double Stalker as well.
Yeah.
This is really scary to hold off.
Double gas immediately from San. He cancelled the Zealot in the previous game. Everything going in favor of ToD here.
I've spoken to ToD about this before as well, and he really, really likes this build. If he can get away with it, it's an absolute killer. It's a dangerous, dangerous thing. There's the cybernetics core.
Yeah.
This is scary here for San.
All right, where's he going? Okay, he's going to check.
Okay, he's going to see it.
So with this, when he sees it, he's going to be like, oh, no. All right, here we go.
Sees the cybernetics core as well. He knows exactly what he's going to be playing against now. Absolutely.
And, you know, when this happens to you, you're in trouble, first of all, because you haven't got the best way to deal with this. You would have scattered earlier and then started to react to your build. It's difficult with the double gases, the probe count you have, the chrono boost you've already spent to start to react. Micro will be everything. Everything. ToD is low on probes, high in stalkers in a second.
There's the two now on the way.
San needs a mothership core ASAP. He needs photon overcharge ASAP. He needs to hold on. ToD must finish it. If he wants to be able to break that curse of not being able to go to the round of 16, break San now and you're through. You've done it. That's all it is. Break him right now.
Pylon's important to keep high ground vision just in case he gets pushed down off this ramp as he now looks to try and wiggle his way forwards.
He's indecisive initially, but get into the probe line. Start to cut that probe down because you're behind in probes, your opponent's higher. That's his advantage. The longer the game goes on, the better it is for San. Micro as well. This is intense because we talked about how San isn't in the best of shape to micro here.
And again, it's always going to be two gates against one gate up until the point where that one gets fully functional.
If Photon Overcharge is activated in 30 energy time, that's where San is better. More probes going down. He's pulling them off the line. ToD's in good shape so far, taking no damages. Micro's good.
Trying to work his way away at this army. If he could get to the mothership core, that is what he wants to get. He wants to get to that juicy center of this army. But he's going for the Zealot initially to try and break all of this.
Photon Overcharge, 10 energy away. And that's going to buy San a lot of time here. If he can get to that.
ToD knows about it, of course. Seeing that mothership core, knowing how much energy it's accruing. Steps forwards just a little bit there. He's actually going to try and go for the mothership core.
What is he going for? He's going for Stalkers, so he's got to be careful.
All right, they're very weak.
He's losing a lot. Okay, he lost a lot there. And San is able to keep two Stalkers alive, and he's also got Photon Overcharge. This is big for San.
Yeah, his army is stabilizing at this point.
He's got a better probe count. He's on equal gateways. San is not using it too early. He'll use it when he has to, which will probably be now if that pylon goes down. But San has bought enough time. He is microing. He's got a supply lead. ToD had to finish it there and then. Nice pullback again by San. And with a Zealot and two probes, using probes as an advantage because he's got more. He's doing this. He's going to have two Photon Overcharges soon.
This is a fantastic defense by San.
This is so sick of a hold from San.
Yeah, it really is. The way he's been pulling back, buying time, buying
ToD's supply cap now after these units. He can't build anymore. He's got high ground advantage. San has double Photon Overcharge.
He hasn't even used it yet.
So when he does use it, by the time it runs out, he has two. He has a better probe count, which means he can counter with a third gateway potentially and then just come. He's got, you know, everything here. Everything. Massive, massive defense from San. Now that is if any Protoss player was watching how to do it and then knowing that he had difficulties in controlling as well.
And here's the sentry.
If ToD goes up, cut it in half and you're in so much trouble.
Jeez, what a fantastic defense here so far by San, and he's looking to round it out. Stalker gets caught on the wrong side of that force field, and now ToD must be absolutely real. There you go, GG.
Yeah, sick hold. Absolutely sick hold.
Fantastic, fantastic play by San there, tying it up now 1-1. ToD, he likes his proxies. We said it at the start of the series. He does like to mix it in from time to time, but even then, even after being scouted a little bit later than would have been the norm there, as you would normally try and scout out your natural, still great hold there by San.
That is so sick. It just, that kind of hold was so impressive, considering the circumstances, playing online from Korea, being able to just do everything right.
It showed such patience.
He was so composed. He was calm. He knew what to do. He just did everything right. And that really is a mark of a true champion when it comes to who San is. And we've talked about it. San has not finished lower than a top 8 since October. 8 months.
Yeah.
That is so impressive. And he's fighting with everything he's got here. Of course, he advanced 2-1 over U-Thermal and is now tied up versus ToD for the final game to see who goes in first place.
All right, so Frost is our map here. We're just waiting for the players to get in. I'm not really expecting anything super crazy from ToD. I'm expecting the same as game 1, you know, kind of just played out straight down the line. And it's a big map. It's a good opportunity for him to do something like that. Yeah,
this, I mean, I think that ToD, you know, has to just keep himself composed. You know, he does have a, you know, an emotional side to him too, and he does get very invested in this. He has to keep safe and just kind of play along as much as possible here. But, you know, good defense from San, and it was a very good hold.
And interestingly enough, ToD asks, actually, why did you scout for a proxy in game 2 and not game 1?
Well, imagine if he didn't scout it, it could have gone up to 1 gateway tech, instantly dead.
Yeah,
saw it, was able to start to react, pull off the defense. Incredible.
San says it's hard to explain in English. So there's a lot going in the mind here of San. I think it probably it might have something to do with the fact that like ToD's 1 game up. You know, it's a bit more of a map where you could try and hide something like that. San's just playing extra cautious when it's like the last map in the series where he could die. I don't know. Whatever the reason, it doesn't really matter. We can now move on to game number 3 to find out which one of these players is going to be moving on in first place here in Group D onto the round of 16. All right, spawning up to the top right-hand corner are Blue Protoss representing XMG. It is ToD. And down to the bottom left, cross spawns of all locations, representing your Flash Wolves, it is San.
Pretty tense here. If ToD advances in first place, he not only finds himself in the first time in the round of 16, increased prize money, is definitely in Premier League for another season every time he's had to go through Challenger. WCS points, of course, but he forces either San or MVP to be eliminated in the round of 32. Either San just breaks that impressive 8-month record and is eliminated, or MVP is kept away from what we would like to see from him, which is that comeback.
What we anticipate from him.
What we anticipate from MVP, because he played so good last season, incredibly. The 2-0s time after time after time, he was kept away from them by MMA.
And it's not like they were close 2-0s. He brushed them aside.
That was the impressive part of it. It's not how far he finished in the tournament, it's how he played in the tournament. Vortex was on fire on that tournament. Absolutely on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Likewise, MMA, who reached the final in the end. Very difficult loss there for MVP, but we'll see if he can even get out of the round of 32 here. Double gas opening here from San. We have a scout from ToD. Later gases, of course, once again dedicating to a scout more so than not. Wants to know what San is doing immediately. Wants to know if it's 1, 2 gases, pylon missing, pylon not missing. Stuff like this would give him a massive edge if it was to be the case, but it's not. But it's better to be safe than not, of course.
San, likewise, going to send his probe out now to go for some scouting. And unfortunately, because indeed they are cross spawns, neither player really going to get the super earliest of scouts off. So San can eventually get over there. He might even be denied considering the timing of this. Actually, no, the cybernetics core. We'll see. Oh, he's going to go straight cross. Huh.
Did he see the probe? I wasn't watching
closely. Think so. No.
All right, cross position it is.
Sick.
All right.
I'm going to have to go back and check that later on, but...
Yeah, I wasn't paying enough attention. I'm sorry.
I really don't think he did, though. I really don't think he did.
So, are we going to see ToD play it out very safe? Is he going to, you know, up that guard, put on the safety protection here and go for like a blink, 3-gate, expansion robo in whatever order, depending on what he sees, which is so far in this game, not a lot. He sees double gas taken. He knows that he's going to be forced out the base with that chrono boost in the gateway. The Stalker prevents ToD from gathering any more information. The Twilight Council is put down by San, but San likewise doesn't really know what ToD's up to. Twilight by ToD as well. Especially because neither of them have gone Sentry. The player who would randomly go Dark Shrine here would be at a huge lead, or potentially at a huge lead if it was able to succeed. But I'm expecting Blink from both. It's the safer of the two choices from the Twilight Council.
Here comes the Stalker out for both players to have a little bit of a look around. And that probe is just on the edge of that watchtower. So good positioning by him. Likewise, though, San has his up to the top right. There's Blink on the way for San.
A probe is going to get inside the base of San. No, a Stalker pops out. My bad. Probe is denied. On San's natural there. Oh, no. What the hell? He scraped through. ToD gets in. Big scout. Big scout.
Wow.
1, 2, 3 gateways. And he spots Blink.
Yum, yum.
Good scout. Kind of says that he doesn't need to worry about Dark Shrine for now. As it is going to be... Unless it was somehow fake that it was going Blink. He gets a robotics facility anyway, but both of them do at the same time because it is the standard time to get it. But this should be expansion play for both.
Yep.
They're on exactly the same tech choice, exactly the same units, the same abilities, which means if one was attacking to the other, if they're both on the same, then it's a lot easier for the defending player.
This pylon down there is a little bit baffling, and then ToD did just see the direction at which that probe came from if he was paying close attention. So he might actually check down there, but for now he's not sending a Stalker out. He's being a little bit cautious. As always, it is ToD, so it's the shield is the option.
Like I said, it should be expansion builds. I'd be very surprised if someone tried to be aggressive from this point. Robo's coming in, Expo down for ToD, Sentry walked in for ToD. No Nexus yet. That was 3 Stalkers. San.
Is he going to keep going?
If the Nexus isn't down already, he's already missed his potential timing. And that pylon... Okay, where are you going, probe? The probe was killed on the other side. Maybe he wants a closer pylon. What is he doing?
He's going down to the Nexus location.
He wasn't sure if ToD threw down the Nexus or not. He played a little bit safer here if he's going to throw down those Stalkers and then expand.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's got more units than ToD, but ToD has a much faster expansion here, and it's just better in position.
Blink
it is
finishes.
Expo. So safer by San.
Yeah, that's all right. That's not too bad. But ToD goes into kind of the mid-game stages with a little bit of an advantage. Noticeably, it's actually warping in 2 sentries as well as San. So that's 200 gas of goes away from anything else he wants to be doing.
They're both set up defensively. They're going to play this out. ToD has an advantage because he can scout faster because he had a faster sentry and also has the Nexus down faster and Immortals beginning sooner. So overall, good position for the Frenchman. Okay position for the Korean. He's obviously at a bit of a deficit. Does see the Nexus down completed. Knows the position he's in. Starts his Immortals. We'll probably see Forges built by both in a second here, as they know that the game's going to go on. If you don't build the Forge now, you're going to fall behind in your upgrades. You don't want that to happen because you're not going to attack anybody anytime soon.
Yep. Just did he get a Stalker in there?
Unless someone tries to risk it for a biscuit.
I think he got a Stalker.
Where's ToD's Forge? Gas down faster.
There's the Forge for San.
Yeah, which is normal. Where's ToD's?
Not there.
No, it's not. And he's adding on a 3rd gas.
And Sentry.
Is he going to go for a mid-game attack? Is he going to skip his Forge and upgrades and look for a lot of more gateways soon?
I mean, he might look for the force fields, right, at the Nexus, like, that can pin
Okay, there it is. There
back.
it is. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Chill, chill, chill. Just a little bit later.
That would have been a bit crazy from ToD.
Yeah, but he does have quite a high gas income already. But that is kind of good if he's playing Archon style, which would indicate that at the time being. Getting a lot of gas early on is really good for your Archon count.
Oh, nice spot here by San with this Observer. So grabs himself a pylon. Likewise, though, ToD has not been able to find the pylon to the south of his base. So
ToD's just found out the robotics bay. Just spotted it. Knows that his opponent's going to be playing Colossus. Knows that his opponent needs to build up to a decent Colossus count before he's good in this game.
Yeah.
And good in terms of moving past his second base. So options open up for ToD, whether he wants to maybe take a faster 3rd in this game, because he knows his opponent can't really push out as easily as not, and also a potential window of opportunity, but the less likely, denies the scout of the potential robotics bay that ToD has. What is ToD's plan here? Stargate!
I thought it might be. I was going to go on about it.
Fleet beacon.
This is, I mean, We've seen this a few times in WCS, right? From Baby Knight and people like that, and it's actually worked wonders, even on 2 bases.
He's going to Tempests fast.
But all in all, you've got to deny the scout.
You have to stop the scout. If this gets spotted, San starts to prepare mentally for what's going to happen. Can start to build an army to deal with this. So the observer's going to, okay, first deny scout, but there's an observer coming from the back.
And you don't expect him from that angle at all. At all.
I don't even know if Todd's looking towards the back there. If he sees it or not, he just put down gateways over there. No observer creeps in. Sees a Stargate. Seeing a Stargate now is pretty big.
Yes, it is.
Because you don't just build a Stargate. It's either a lot of Stargates for a weird Void Ray play, or he's gone up towards the Fleet Beacon, which is the expected tech choice coming in from Todd in a second. The observer spotted, and it was around the Stargate. Todd may abandon this now. He may not even build the Fleet Beacon.
I mean, with the Templar archives going down, I think he might have to abandon this plan. Look at this San with the 5
doing
gateways.
it anyway. Doing it anyway. San can hit before Tempests are out. San can hit and win before Tempests are out. He can either take an expansion and start to build up towards an army that can deal with it, or he hits now.
This is perfect. I feel that with the 5 gateways that he added on, he identified this very quickly.
Todd's got 5 Immortals. San has 3. San has 1 Colossus. He could overwhelm in Stalkers is going to be the way to do this.
This is going to be tense.
This is tense. This is tense. Todd needs to hold on. Obviously, if he goes up to the Tempest, he's in great shape versus the potential high count of Colossus that should be expected from San, who's playing that style. But he's stopped. He's at 1 Colossus without Thermal Lance. It's like a weird fake into an attack. He's going to hit while Todd is transitioning to something to deal with what isn't in the game yet.
Force fields are key here.
Absolutely
key.
He sees the entire army there.
There's a Hallucinate Colossus as
well. So Mothership Core got to be in position. He's got to be starting warping units defensively. He's got to defend this. If he doesn't, he's out.
Force and overcharge is there. Could throw a force field down over there. That Archon needs to break that, but it actually doesn't in time. There's so much of this army pinned back behind that 1 force field.
What
that's
an
not
attack.
being worked at. Oh dear me, this could go horribly for Todd unless he finds a way to break on through.
5 Immortals though, 4 Immortals.
They have broken through now as well. There's not that much force field energy left. He needs another force field there to actually pin this back. There's still only 1 Colossus there, but it's now being focused down by those Immortals. Brings that down. It's very, very close.
Got to get rid of the Immortals, San, if he wants to go to the round of 16.
27 army supply to 27 army supply. Todd slightly in favor now, 31 to 27. These 2 Immortals need to do something, but the Immortals of Todd with the Zealots push it back.
He's got a Tempest, which is going to deal damage over time now. Todd at 2 Immortals. He needs to keep warping in. He's lost a couple of probes here, which means that San does have more power punch if he was to continue to warp in, but it is a back off.
10 workers died during all of that, and he's not actually mining from these gases as well. So
San says, whatever, well done. That's literally what he says. He's like, whatever, well done, good defense. Todd holds on. Loses a lot of his economy. Does have the Fleet Beacon and a Tempest, but no, he's abandoned Colossus. He never really went to it anyway here. San's moving out. Takes a faster third, and Todd should be. Does he have sentries? Did he lose them all?
Todd?
He's got 1, okay.
Only 1.
Doesn't have, okay, no, sorry, he's got a Zealot that's even better. Okay, he's got a Zealot that stops the probe from building the Nexus and should be looking to expand himself here.
All right, well,
Game goes on.
San now finding pylons up to the north, killing that off. Not too bad. Todd now moving out to try and maybe catch anything, but it's not really going to happen. And technically, from here on out, with charge and charge, things are pretty much going to normalize. I mean, look how quickly Todd caught up in terms of the probe count as well.
I mean, if you look at the unit tab, is the best case to judge, I mean, where they are. You've got equal probes, which means equal economy. Todd has more Immortals, 2 or more, and 2 Archons. So in an army supply, better. In a fight, he's better. There's no third down for either player yet. Todd's expecting a third to be there, I think, now, but there's not. They're both kind of low on probes still. It's like a game of chicken. You know, whoever throws down the Nexus is in a more dangerous position because that's 400 minerals, but not only 400 minerals, it's 2 probes being built at the same time, which is 100, then another 100, then another 100, then another 100 of minerals, which is a Zealot, 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 Zealot. So, you know, it is big to throw down the Nexus or not. Sans it's like a mind game because Todd's seen the Nexus, which means he's going to throw down his own Nexus. Sans like, you've seen me try to build a Nexus, I'm going to attack you as you build a Nexus. It's like this weird mind game where both of them were kind of not taking the Nexus because both of them want to capitalize on one same winning potential. ToD's throwing the Nexus down, but is also going to scout the lack of Nexus, which is a big, big scout.
San constantly chrono boosting into the armor as well.
And ToD seeing this is massive because he doesn't need a third. He can cancel nice in time. He's got a nice army.
You know, constant chrono boost into this armor here for
but
San.
Look at the Zealots. The Zealots are huge.
There's a lot of Zealots, you're right. But the firepower, if the +3 finishes for
the
for
+3, the Archons, like ToD he's cancelled it. He just needs to defend again.
Yeah,
he needs to defend again on his natural. There's a lot of Zealots here. They'll filter in, remember, which means they won't all attack. They'll be clumped up together. It's not the best kind of fight.
It's 106 army supply, 114 now against 87.
ToD has to take, high ground.
Yeah.
Out in the open, you're in more trouble than not.
I mean, there's so many Zealots. He has the double the
so
Zealots
big,
at
but
least.
But if ToD has high ground, he's in better shape. He's out in the open.
He's going to actually command the high ground. If he goes up to that natural now and commands this high ground...
ToD loses the advantage of the high ground, which means San Zealots can fight better up here.
Perfect movement here by San. The floodgates are going to open as those Zealots charge on forwards. Yes, the Zealots charge forwards for ToD as well, but they get absolutely ripped to shreds.
He lost the high ground advantage.
Oh, the Immortals and Archons now getting chased down. One of them falls on the high ground. The Stalkers from the left-hand side also swing in, but this engagement here, as Archon after Archon falls for ToD, there's not much to keep the Zealots away from those Immortals, meaning big amounts of damage done to ToD.
Big fight, big win. It was all about position there. ToD could have neglected a lot of the Zealots, and he's in trouble, and he's going to be pushed down to the low bracket. San has fought against the problems, the difficulties that he was going to encounter today, and he has conquered them.
Lured out of the way by a mere 4 Stalkers on that left-hand side. GG, San is victorious. What a move. What a chess-like move there to just lure that away and swing in for the victory.
And like ripples in water, all of WCS Europe feels the shake of San taking a round of 16 spot. He's coming to Germany. The last time he did that, he got top 4. And I know that he's going to be gunning for better this year. Players like MC are feeling that ripple right now. MMA's feeling that ripple and more. This is a big win for San. And they were all praying that he messed up today. Now he's a big force to be reckoned with this season.
That's true. Online, he's just another, Protoss from Korea playing, having those terrible times and fighting against it. But offline, he is a force to be reckoned with. Congratulations to San for moving through to the round of 16.
Big win for him. Big win. But now, 3 players have fallen into the pit, as we call it here in the WCS, the lower bracket. 3 players, 1 slot left. ToD is waiting the victor of our next game, Thermal and MVP.
Yeah, we had a lot of TVT yesterday, or the group before. Now we're going to have some more for you on the way in just a little bit. So join us after the break when Thermal and MVP fight to play against ToD.